Hi everyone, and welcome to Worth the Calories, a Great British Bake Off podcast. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Catherine.
And we're back with week 2 of the 2021 series where we're talking biscuits.
Yeah, like biscuits.
We do know biscuits quite well, so we can talk biscuits.
We are familiar with the concept of the biscuit.
So we kicked off this week with brandy snaps.
I love brandy snaps. My mum used to make brandy snaps.
Oh, really?
I've never tried making them myself.
No, me
but
neither.
my mum's brandy snaps used to be delicious.
Did she put anything in them?
Cream, boozy cream.
Okay.
They were a dinner party favourite.
Ah.
My parents did a lot of dinner parties when I guess it was the 90s.
Okay.
But yes, brandy snaps filled with boozy cream.
Nice.
They were good.
My mum did chocolate mousse. That was her speciality. Which is very
Nice.
As a quick aside. Yeah, I've not done them either, and it's quite interesting to watch all the different ways they did them of, fully round a rolling pin or like a tortilla shell, some like a basket. Yeah, interesting.
Yes, no, I quite fancy having a go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I'd want to do them fully rounded because I think filling them would be a pain. I quite like the idea of the mini baskets.
You're not a big fan of piping, and I think piping is what you have to do for the field ones.
Yeah, I actually feel I have a slight aversion to piping because I don't think I've ever done it successfully.
Yeah.
When I think of piping, I think of that marshmallow.
Yeah, the marshmallow
stuck
and jam
in
that
the
we've had to do
piping
before.
bag.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to try piping with some easier, more pipeable things. But I hate putting it in the piping bag. Sorry.
Well, we will return to some of that in a bit.
Excellent.
Yeah, I liked, as ever, they were given a good range of things they could do with this and ways to approach it and so on. And I don't think any were particularly bad decisions. Some of the execution was not necessarily as good.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's right. I can't think of any of them that I thought, ugh. I'd have quite happily tasted any of them. But yeah, I mean, like, what's her name? The older lady.
Amanda? Maggie?
Maggie. I thought her filling looked delicious.
Mm-hmm.
But the brandy snaps themselves just looked a bit
Well,
pallid.
as I said, very wet, and this is the problem.
Yeah.
You do need to serve them pretty quickly or take steps to make sure it's a really good.
Yeah, bake them really
good
well.
bake, yeah.
Because they store, from memory, unfilled, they store quite well.
Right.
So I guess like if you were doing them at home rather than in the time pressure of the tent, you could pre-bake some really good brandy snaps, and then on the day that people are coming round, do your filling and fill them on that day.
Yeah. Interesting idea. Yeah. Maybe we should do that thing.
Maybe.
I appreciated the ones that were being dipped in or had a layer of chocolate put on them, because obviously that's a flavour I like. But I can sort of see the skill.
Purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason for doing that. It seals it in a little bit better and allows you to then put something else on top of it.
Yes, because the cream will just make it mushy if you
Yeah.
don't have anything between it. That was a nice idea.
Yeah, so it was a nice challenge.
Yeah.
I think they all did okay. There were some where the flavours didn't necessarily come out in the way, or the combination of biscuits, which was probably down to time pressure more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we'll try it someday.
So the technical this week was Jammy Dodgers.
Yeah. No. A jam-filled biscuit.
Yeah. Jam-filled sandwich biscuit
Come on.
with a heart shape in the top.
Jammy Dodgers.
Yeah. Other Jammy Dodgers are available. Other sandwich jam-filled what's-its. Anyway.
Yeah.
It really reminded me of the wagon wheels from a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Because it's basically the same thing, but you're not pouring chocolate over them.
Yeah, and you don't have to do the marshmallow.
It's buttercream, not marshmallow, but it's so
not
similar.
Not dissimilar. The biscuit, the type of biscuit, I don't think was dissimilar. And yes, you had to make your own jam. And I think this is apart from the delicateness of having to press out the shape and the heat in the tent, I think for a home baker, this is a more achievable ask than the wagon wheels.
Yeah, absolutely. And in some ways, I scoff at the thing of why would you bake something you can buy cheaply? Sometimes that's true. Yeah. I feel very much that way about crumpets, because crumpets are a very involved bake.
Yes.
For something that is very cheap.
Yeah.
But with biscuits like that, there is a difference.
The taste, the shop bought one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I won't turn down a Jammy Dodger. But the biscuits are just like hard.
It's plain biscuit. It's very chewy jam.
Yeah,
and
I can see how a homemade one would be better.
Yeah, there is something in the skill of doing it yourself and doing it at home.
Yeah. Could I ever be bothered with the heart-shaped cutout in the middle? I'm not entirely sure I could. All the sort of the shaped pressing.
Yep.
I think I could probably bring myself to be bothered to do just a circular cutout in the middle. Also, because we have the equipment to be able to achieve that at the moment. I don't think we have a little heart-shaped cutter. And I think I would be perfectly okay with it not having ridges on the top.
Yeah. I'm not even sure we have anything that can imprint like that. I've got some Mario Brother Games biscuit cutters that would do an imprint, but I'm not sure what they'd cut out.
We could do Mario Jammy Dodgers.
We could do Mario Jammy Dodgers.
That would be awesome.
But I think more than just a heart in the middle, I'd love to have little like letter ones. So you could do like letters in the top of them with the jam coming through. That would be quite cute.
Yeah.
The heart is just it takes it towards twee, as hearts can do.
We could have M's and C's and each have our own biscuits.
Exactly. I can make you a batch of M's, you can make me a batch of C's. Exactly. CC.
After we've made the malt loaf and the brandy snaps.
Yeah, absolutely. Technicals don't matter.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I can't even remember where the guy that
9th of 11.
Yeah.
But he did very poorly across all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I think it helped them say other people were doing potentially badly, but
it does also, I mean, this was another one where I think it possibly helped inform the judges as to who has some core skills.
Yeah.
You know, like who was thinking, oh, I need to put these in the fridge, in the freezer first and stuff like that. But, you know, and you can see by the panic and the people go, oh, this isn't much instruction. And the people are just like, okay, jam.
Yeah.
You can see who's got the base knowledge. But yes, you're right. It's won or lost on the signature and the showstopper.
Yeah. And you know, we're skipping to the end slightly, but with Jürgen winning it, I think certainly the showstoppers and this technical across the 2 weeks have gone very much in his favour.
Yes.
This is a very step-by-step, take a very measured approach to it, and you will get it done. Yeah.
I mean, it will be interesting to see, or if, rather than when, but if he falls apart at a technical where we can't rely on actually some background engineering.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know, you know, he's not the engineer, is he? The Italian guy.
He's the physicist.
But still, there's a lot of.
But he's relying on the precision of it and measuring it all ahead, which is producing some wonderful stuff. You know, I absolutely congratulate him for applying that in such a way. You know, I come to baking as a very scientific approach, and it's good to see that done. But in terms of this as a competition, I think he's really leaned into his strengths, which is really good. And I think I'm looking forward to, can he take that same approach to other challenges in the future?
Yeah.
Or will other approaches show that there are other people as strong or stronger?
And sometimes there's because both of the first 2 weeks, the things he's done have been very involved.
Yes.
Has he been able to have the time to put that level of detail into his planning for all of the tasks to come over the later weeks as well? Because it's all very well having intricate planning for week 1 and 2, but if you get through to week 7 and you haven't planned it properly, it's not necessarily going to come through as strongly.
Yeah, so I'm interested. Like, I like that he is doing well. I like that the 2 who are doing especially well are our European visitors. To the Bake Off. Very much approving of that. I'm hoping to see other people find challenges that they can go, oh yeah, this really works to you know, how I like to do things, or really works to my strengths.
I hope Christelle and Freya are both going to have a good showing. Cheeks did really well this week. What I really want is for there to be a few people that make a good showing, rather than two of the finalists to be obvious from week 2,
Yeah.
and it carry on like that all the way through. But I think Freya from Scarborough, I think she's very good.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential there. I think Christelle's started quietly, but there's some potential there.
Yeah, the show paid very little attention to her, which is why when it was all, I really have to have a good showing to do well, it's like, no, I think you're going to be fine. The people that we've seen a lot this week, and it's hard, when there are so many people in there, they have to think about who to pick and choose. So,
yeah, because so far, apart from maybe 4 of them, I'm not feeling it's a very strong showing in terms of bakers. But maybe that's because the really strong bakers are the ones I remember.
Yeah, I think they're all very good, but again, it's the same thing that we had last year, that it's not necessarily the best people who applied; it's the people who could do the thing.
Yeah.
So fine.
Yeah.
So we come to our showstopper.
Yep.
Just to make a beloved children's toy out of Biscuit.
I think people have stretched the brief a little.
Yes, I had a plane in my thing, and I loved it. Actually, to be fair, George. To trot out, I said last week I had lots of the Bake Off tropes going on. George has the thing of, he struggled last week, and I think he's learned from it.
Yeah, I think he did all right this week.
I think this week was not the best showing, but I think it very easily could have gone badly for him. And he's sort of figured out how to deal with some of the pressure, and how to do a good showing when things are against you.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the range of things was interesting, because there were some people making a windmill, a plane, a thing.
Yeah.
And there was none of the stuff that we'll get later in the series of, you have to bake 48 biscuits.
Yes.
Or, it has to be this tall or something. It just has to be something interactive. And I'm not sure any of them were particularly interactive.
The Chigs' snooker table.
Yeah.
You could play snooker on it.
You couldn't play snooker on it. Pretty sure if anything went into those holes, it would just sit in the hole.
It was a bit interactive.
Yeah.
I don't think that, interactive, I don't think many of them captured interactive.
Yeah, if it was functional, I think I'd have gone and been accepting of it all.
Yes.
That's the thing. It needed something that worked in some way. So,
because even Jürgen, I'm like, that's a beautiful windmill. Is that really a toy?
Yeah. But, toy plane.
I can see a toy plane more than a toy windmill, but maybe then I'm just being structurist. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the rocking horses were definitely toys. Christelle's play, jewellery and makeup set was exquisite.
That was really good,
and definitely a toy. So what would you have made?
I want to say something like, a Rubik's Cube, but I don't know how you make that interactive with biscuits. No. The one that did occur to me as I was watching it, that I was surprised no one did, is a sort of Lego type set.
Okay.
Now, whether you're effectively just making building blocks, and you can then build different things, you could do that. Whether you could do something that they do have imprints that connect together, but with Biscuit, I'm not sure that would work so well. So that feels... It's almost interesting no one went in that direction. Blocks that have letters on the side and you can spell out Paul and Prue on the side or something.
Yeah,
something like that nice. Maybe would have been fun. As I'm saying it, I'm trying to think of other things. Given what everyone did, could I have made like a few Magic the Gathering cards and a 20-sided dice that you can roll?
Nice.
Your
icing skills would have to be... on point.
Oh yeah, you'd just be doing the mana symbols, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be doing all the pictures and so on. Or maybe you'd even do the cards down, and you just be baking lots of thin biscuits and icing the back of them the same each time, and you make a dice that you can throw.
Yeah.
A little ropey, perhaps.
Yeah.
What would you have made?
Well, I think thinking about this. I think I was leaning too heavily into what genuinely was my favourite toy.
Right,
as a child.
Okay.
So I was thinking I'd make a dressing up box.
Okay.
So I'd make a sort of a wooden box and lots of biscuits in the shape of different clothes.
Nice.
But then I don't know how I'd make that interactive. Maybe I could have got one of those, those little models that artists use to put body to sort of put into a body shape and use as the basis of their sketching.
Okay.
Maybe I could have.
Have
sort of had like attached a sort of framework into that, so I could dress up my model with my different clothes in the chest.
Nice. even just a working lid.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think that's what I'd have done.
Oh, that's nice. I like that idea. Yeah, that's good. Because you can do that very well.
And you could have 2 types of biscuit. You could do gingerbread for your chest because it needs to be solid, and then you could do a more delicately flavoured sugar biscuit that doesn't need to be a rocking horse. It could be just close.
Like maybe a sugar biscuit that isn't good for structure, but is good for flavour.
Exactly.
That was the decision of the week.
Yeah, bless her. Yeah, I think it's the difference between doing something in the kitchen that you know, in where you've possibly got a little bit more leeway around time.
Yep.
And you can control the temperature, and it's equipment that you know, and doing it in a tent where you can't control the temperature and the time is fixed, and you've got distractions of people faffing around you, and you've got Freya next to you doing the same toy, but sensibly out of gingerbread, and it looking amazing.
And pulling it off. Yeah. Because she said she tried it a couple of times and it worked. Did she ice it? It just...
I reckon she was able to let things cool for a lot longer.
Yeah, maybe actually. Because, they are very soft when they come out of the oven. And gingerbread is, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a shame because it did look really nice when it was iced. But, again, she survived, so maybe she'll learn about...
Yeah.
Right, don't do the risk. Do the core thing really well.
I think we've got another 2 or 3 weeks of people leaving because they just couldn't cut it.
Yeah. I would agree. And it's a shame because obviously they're in there, but you've got people who are, it's going wrong, and then they're hamming it up for the camera. And again, it's the bake-off trope of if you play to the camera, you're not focused on your baking, and it ends up showing through, sadly.
And, I mean, it didn't seem to hinder her.
No.
But your lass Lizzie, who's bragging about not having practiced and having watched Harry Potter instead, I'm just like, oh, it's not a good look. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see what comes of each person, because it could be that they turn it around and they figure out, taking it seriously sounds really snobbish, but you can see the difference between the people who are just, right, get in, get focused and get on it. I feel, this is the difference with George. Felt like he was on it this week. Chigs is helping everyone, but he's focused on what he's doing.
Oh, that was beautiful. Like the execution of that snooker table.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. That and the reversey, I think, were the best things.
Yeah.
I think they were really strong.
Yeah.
I think you're going to cross all the challenges.
Yes.
Very clearly did very well. And, to his credit, they're saying he does flavour really well. So...
Yes, and I think that cake that we saw them eat last week that was below his lamp did look delicious.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think this is a series where there are enough people at a high level who could all run away with it.
Yeah.
So, interesting times. Is there anything that you would have wanted to try this week? Time allowing?
Time allowing. I'm torn. I think of the two, I'd probably have been more drawn to doing brandy snaps.
Okay.
But I could also have been persuaded to have a go at the Jammy Dodgers.
Okay.
Which would you have preferred to do?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably the Jammy Dodgers, because the make the biscuit and then make a cream thing and fill it and combine it in that way, that's not quite the baking that I go to.
Yeah.
And the sort of deciding on things. And to be fair, I've not looked at what recipes are available.
No.
So the Jammy Dodgers are the one of, there's a recipe, I would just go and do that.
Yeah. Yes, because I wouldn't want to do the brandy snaps and fill them with lots of cream, because we don't do lots of cream in this house. So I'd be more interested in doing the brandy snaps, and then if the recipe that's up has it for being filled with lots of cream, then freestyling and just dipping it in chocolate instead.
Yeah.
And then we have brandy snap biscuits.
And yeah, there are different things that it can be filled with that we would, a sort of set custard or a chocolate ganache or buttercream or something, and it would be very sweet.
Yeah. I don't rule out there being brandy snaps in our future.
Yeah, maybe we return to them in the malt loaf.
Oh, I love malt loaf.
Any general thoughts on the series so far? The couple of episodes that we've had?
I need to get better at learning people's names. Okay. Is a starting thought. I like it so far. I think the showstoppers challenges are familiar so far, but I guess we've had a gazillion series, so but I do think they've got they're maintaining what I think they had a bit last season as well, of a nice balance of the signature is it's not an easy thing, but it's a relatively clean slate to allow the contestants to show their skill with coming up with flavours.
Yeah.
And the technicals have so far not been stupid.
Nope.
They've been good technicals.
Yeah.
And the showstoppers have genuinely been showstoppers.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the technicals
so
haven't been ones that we've gone, oh, that's really tough.
Yeah.
That's hard to start them off that way.
Yeah.
So,
so all's good for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you think?
I'm interested. Again, this is the second year at least with the bubble, and doing it. Obviously under pandemic conditions. I feel like last year and this year the bakers are closer.
Yes.
I feel like very much the thing that everyone says every week is, I'm relieved not to be going home, but I'm really sad that person's leaving.
Yeah.
They are more empathetic or more genuinely empathetic.
Yeah.
Because that comment, I'm sad about it, I don't feel we get that every week on previous series.
No, because, certainly the first couple of weeks, they've only really, when they're only in there for the weekend, there's less off-camera time for them to relax, whereas I get the impression they've been in the tent and in the bubble for a good week or so before they start filming.
Yeah.
So they probably have spent a good amount of time bonding.
And I'm very interested by the blurred out sequences and some of the behind the, at-home shots of everyone, where it was blurred out. Was it Giuseppe or Jürgen?
Jürgen was reading.
Reading, and they blurred out what the book was. So, something very mature, perhaps. And they blurred out Giuseppe's children's faces.
Which I think is a choice.
I
don't... I felt it was... I think what is more interesting to me is that that's the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
Although part of me goes, if you don't want your kids on TV, don't have your kids on TV.
Well, that's exactly the thing about it is... rather than blowing them out, we say, right, we won't use those shots. We'll use shots of you baking and preparing, or we'll only use shots of you and you can hear the kids talking in the background or something. I think...
I wonder if they'd already filmed and maybe his partner went, actually, perhaps I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah, really interesting.
And that was the easier way of doing it rather than refilming stuff.
But, or again, don't do the behind-the-scenes shot to the person you can't show everything.
Yeah.
As ever, just looking at how the show's made and some of the choices behind it. Always interesting to find. Okay, so Bread Week next week.
Yay.
And I think we're excited about focaccia.
Oh, super excited about focaccia. There might be 2 focaccias in the house.
Well, I'm interested to see what the technical is.
True.
Because the bread technical is usually something actually quite interesting. Yes. A donut or buns or naan or... I think when we've done bread before, we've always quite enjoyed the technical.
Yeah.
As something like, oh yeah, I would like to try that.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, it was Rainbow Bagels last
they were good
season,
fun.
wasn't it? And they were actually really good.
Fun.
And I have proving bags now because of that. So we're going to use proving bags.
Huzzah!
Frankly.
Huzzah!
So we'll see everyone next week for Bread Week.
Bread Week.
And you can, as ever, find us on social media. You search for @EloquentGushing. Come and let us know what you think about the show, what comments you want to make, who you think is going to do well, and what challenges you are trying at home as well.
Yeah.
So go and find us at EloquentGushing.